What's good? It's Woog. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you love hip hop like I do. Can Busta Rhymes beat Eminem in a versus battle? It depends on the question that you're asking. If you're asking, can Busta Rhymes' music catalog stand up with Eminem's? Hell to the no. And that's not even a slight to Busta Rhymes. I'm just saying, when you get to a point where, as an artist, where you have a Wikipedia entry for not only discography, but singles discography, you're in another league. That's a short list. That's basically like Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Drake. LL Cool J could have it. I don't know if he does. But what I'm saying is, Eminem went from basically being on wake up show freestyles and mixtapes. I remember when I first heard Eminem, he was basically sharing the mic with people like Evidence from Dilated Peoples, or who was hot at the time, Chino XL, the different MCs, the different underground rap spitters that were, they placed a premium on lyricism. Eminem was just tearing down mics with one freestyle or verse, or a track that they would play late at night, like on 92.3 The Beat, when they would first premiere a song like Brain Damage, Ever Since the Day I Was Born, or I Just Don't Give a F. That's the way that they used to censor it. But yeah, Eminem was making a splash before he got signed to Dr. Dre, so he was a mean spitter, before the Aftermath and the Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, and the rest was history, right? But if the question is, can Busta Rhymes outperform Eminem on stage? Yes, absolutely. And in the context of the way that these versus battles work, first of all, they don't have enough songs to where Eminem's the lead that he has in just major hits and stuff over what Busta Rhymes has in his catalog. It wouldn't be apparent with the amount of songs that you get to play during the versus battles. They have you play 20 songs? Even if there were 30 songs, I don't think that Busta Rhymes would necessarily get drowned out. I mean, he might. I'd really have to take a close look, but he's had some great features, as well as his songs. He had that, what was it, with Chris Brown, I'm Getting Paper, that Yellow Bottle Sipping, where, Busta Rhymes just kills it at the end of the song, or right after Chris Brown's part. But he also has the Pussycat Doll song, Don't You Think Your Girlfriend Was. I mean, that's a major pop song, right? And he obviously made his first splash. I mean, he was with Leaders of the New School, and then he was featured on Tribe Called Quest's Low End Theory album with the song Scenario. That's that rah rah like a dungeon dragon. He had a feature on the Flavor in Your Ear remix. That's a song that if Busta Rhymes was on a versus battle, he would certainly play. That's the Craig Mack classic. But it had a remix with Busta Rhymes, LL Cool J, Notorious B.I.G. But and Busta Rhymes also featured on the album Midnight Marauders on the song Oh My God. Midnight Marauders. OK Player has a really cool website where they have a lot of dope sweaters, t-shirts, and stuff like that. But yeah, on that other Tribe Called Quest album, Midnight Marauders, he's featured on that too. But Busta Rhymes didn't have his debut until '96 with the album The Coming. That's the one with Woo-Ha, I Got You All in Check, which was that was his breakthrough solo single. And he's got a lot of really hot singles. I mean, he went from just being a rah rah, where it was always turned up, to where he kind of mixed it up, where by the time his next album came out, When Disaster Strikes, he switched it up. Hit you with no delay, and so what you saying, yo? Silly with your wife, grilly with the dilly, yo. Even on the album after that, it was the Extinction Level Event. That's the one with you niggas want the wild shit? Give me some more. Even though we getting money, you could give me some more. Man, that single was so hot. Yo, Spliff, where the weed at? Give me some more. But yeah, he had Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. He had the song Dangerous. He had What's It Gonna Be? That's the song with Janet Jackson from the Extinction Level Event. That's gonna make your bodies. I don't know if y'all remember that one. It was a hot single at the time. He had a Knight Rider remix to the song Turn It Up, but it was Fired Up, and instead of the Al Green Love and Happiness beat, which was the one featured on the album, it instead had again the Knight Rider theme song, and it was all my niggas say fired up, fired up. That was like the height of Busta Rhymes. That was like a remix from the When Disaster Strikes days. So we're talking like 98. Again, his debut, The Coming, was 96. But Busta Rhymes has such an imposing voice and style, and you know, he was pretty much like the most like eccentric, energetic, just the must-see live performance out of just about anybody in the game. I mean, there's some great live performers in hip hop, like across the board. There's several, right? You know, you got Black Thought and the Roots, LL Cool J, amazing live performance, Common, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane. I mean, a lot of really great performers. But Busta Rhymes was like jumping from the stage. I mean, he was not only just stage diving, but he was like the most animated live performer. And when he would do it, he wouldn't lose his breath. He would still be able to do everything that he was doing in the verse, but he's able to do it while he's running across like and this is like skinny bust. I'm not talking about like the Busta Rhymes that you see these days, which would be the one who would be taking the stage against Eminem if they were to do a versus. And he does still have a lot of that same breath control, but he was moving back in the day, super like, you know, skinny arms and stuff, and just like doing all kinds of like crazy dances with his hype man, one of the greatest hype mans of all time, Spliff Star, who would just be doing his dances while Busta Rhymes is doing his thing. It was just perfect tandem. So Busta Rhymes, in terms of the live performance, I don't think anybody wants to see Busta Rhymes. And I think people who don't like it when Eminem is mentioned as either the greatest or one of the greatest, often mentioned as the greatest MC of all time, people want to see Eminem take an L. They're just wondering who can stand up with Eminem. Well, again, it's kind of apples and oranges depending on what you're looking for. Again, since they would only be doing like 20 songs, yeah, Eminem could do like The Real Slim Shady, Stan, Till I Collapse, and you know, the one from the 8 Mile soundtrack, and go down the list and basically do like his top 20 hits. And again, 20 songs isn't enough to start thinning Busta Rhymes' catalog out. Now, if it was like more of a marathon style thing where it was 40 to like 50 songs, performance aside, because again, nobody is going to outperform Busta Rhymes. Again, his voice has too much resonance. It's too emphatic. It's too audible. Like you could hear every single word. It's crystal clear. Plus, it has so much soul in it, so much grit in the voice. Whereas Eminem, relatively speaking, has kind of a thin voice to where it could, like, if it was in the context of, like, you know, the hip-hop performances. Now, Eminem has entered a lot of, like, actual freestyle battles to where he had to do his thing, and I'm going to get to that part. But Eminem's voice doesn't really cut through the bass and the beat in the way that Busta Rhymes does. Think about, you know how, like, Andre 3000, he's got, like, the shh softly, as if I play piano in the dark, and it's like a sharp tenor to his voice. Well, Busta Rhymes' voice is a little bit grittier, a little more oomph and bass in the voice, where it would be more akin to like KRS-One, where it's just overpowering. And then he could take some speed off the fastball too, and again, kind of switch it up where he's doing a lot of that other Busta stuff. And, you know, back in the days, he wasn't, I mean, he was rhyming fast on like Gimme Some More and stuff like that, but he really started rhyming fast on some of his like later work after that. But I mean, he had, you know, the song Pastor Cavassier. He had Make It Clap with Sean Paul and Spliff Star. He had I Know What You Want with Mariah Carey. That's that, baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. That was a major hit. So, you know, he's had a lot of like success. He had Touch It from The Big Bang, but if you're going to try to compare his catalog in terms of like commercial success or just songs that the average rap audience is going to remember or that's going to stand out and be like recognizable in the context of these versus battles, Eminem, you know, could go on for 60 songs, 70 songs probably. Busta Rhymes, after you get to like maybe 30 or something like that, you know, and that's including his solo work, his features. Beyond that, he would start having to pull out the album cuts, the ones that is like, oh yeah, that was cool, that was on Anarchy, right? Or something like that. Which, by the way, Anarchy is my personal favorite Busta Rhymes album, followed by maybe When Disaster Strikes. But even like some of Busta Rhymes' singles, like "It's a Party," that was from his debut album, The Coming. It had the R&B artist group Jeanne. "It's a Party." People wouldn't remember that, so he could play it in the versus battle. But if he like plays that after Eminem plays like anything from like Role Model or Not Afraid, I mean, you just take your pick. It could be an album cut or it could be a major single. Eminem's albums were so big that even the album cuts are bigger than a lot of other rappers' singles. So like if Eminem played like Bitch Please 2, that was, you know, the sequel to the original Bitch Please with Snoop Dogg and Exhibit and Nate Dogg. Well, there was the version on Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP. Like he could play that. He could play his features on like Dr. Dre's Chronic or Dr. Dre 2001. You know, for What's the Difference? Forgot About Dre. So yeah, Eminem's catalog on a high level. I'm not talking about the deep cuts where you got to get into like the, you know, the B-sides and the ones that sound good and you only remember if you were obsessed with the album and you happen to still remember it. No, like Eminem's got like 50 plus like recognizable songs that he could do. But in terms of like going back and forth and the performance level and the energy, Busta Rhymes happens to have that on lock, which kind of tips the scales in a lot of these versus battles. Like I think 3 6 Mafia might have edged Bone, even though Bone Thugs to me have the better catalog than 3 6 Mafia. The energy was just there with 3 6, or obviously with the Lox and Dipset. Who's got the better catalog? Well, I could tell you that the Lox came prepared and they came with the energy. So, you know, it might not be a bad idea for Eminem to, you know, maybe bring some of his battle expertise into this thing as well. Like something like, hey, Busta Rhymes, you still rhyming? Because you look like a retired lineman or something like that. Like, I don't know. That's more old school Eminem style. I get it. But Eminem just needs to work to his strengths as opposed to, you know, trying to beat Busta Rhymes at his own game. Because trust me, like Busta Rhymes, even though he's not doing like the cartwheels across the stage and jumping around on and off the stage and just doing all that stuff like he used to, he still has enough stage presence to steal the show and to make Eminem sound small compared to him. So again, if the question is, can Busta Rhymes outperform Eminem in a versus? I think the answer is yes. But does his catalog stand up with Eminem's? Nah. Very, very, very few would. Like, it's a very short list of people who should qualify to share the stage with Eminem in a versus battle on the strength of their catalog. Again, I think that there are a lot of other MCs that I think Busta Rhymes would match up well against. You know, in terms of catalog, Eminem's just a tough matchup. But again, performance-wise, Busta Rhymes could get him. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you love hip-hop like I do. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.